Hello. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. What's your
That's
name?
really good. Oh, hi. I did not do that now. Can you say as you wish?
Again?
Yeah.
Sure. As you wish. You're very sweet.
Okay. Okay, my real question is, how was it like working with Andre the Giant?
Ah, the great Andre. Well, I talk about him a lot in the book. So, again, I'm going to plug the book. Andre really was a gentle giant, you know. I mean, he was 7'4", 450 pounds, and he was like the eighth wonder of the world. You know, whenever he walked into a room, he had to bow his head low to get in through the door frame. And so, you know, he had a pretty rough life, really, even though he was a very successful wrestler and big star in the wrestling circuit. You know, it was very hard for him because he couldn't sit down at a normal table, and no chairs really fit him. You know, he had to get 2 chairs put together. Beds were often uncomfortable. Toilets were obviously an issue. You know, but he was just the sweetest guy, and he. I'll never forget, he was a real foodie. You know, he grew up in France. He grew up in a little village in France. And he told me this great story about how he couldn't fit on the school bus because when he was about 12 years old, he was already 6'3" or something like that. And so it was a problem for him because he couldn't walk to school and he couldn't fit on the bus. And he said, oh yeah, boss. He called everybody boss. I love that about him too. The idea of a 7'5" giant calling you boss. He said, yeah, boss. So this guy come one day and he made friend with my father and he drove me to school. I said, somebody drove you to school every day? He goes, yeah, boss. He's the only guy who had a convertible in the village. And I said, really? Who was that? He goes, oh, it's just some guy, a writer, his name was Samuel Beckett. That was the playwright, Samuel Beckett, who drove him to school every day. So if you Google him, if you don't know who he is, he's an incredible playwright. And, but Andre, he was the sweetest. He didn't care for the British food. By the way, Britain is for its culinary genius. And he took one look at the catering on our set, and he went, no, boss, no. And on his day off, he drove his truck, a specially modified, truck that he had, and he went over to France on the ferry, and he came back, and he filled the truck with crates of pâté and foie gras and cheese and lots of wine, which the producers confiscated because I know. Well, he drank most of it, I think. But he was already, the crew loved him already, but after that, he could do no wrong. All the crew went around going, more pâté. So yeah, he was just a sweetheart, and I miss him to this day. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to start by thanking you. It's partially your fault why I'm a total sword geek and involved in the Western martial arts community.
Oh, right on.
I wanted to ask you, your fight with Mandy is largely considered to be one of the greatest sword fights in cinema history behind the Western martial arts community. I wanted to ask you about your training for that. How was all that?
Yes. Okay, so that's an interesting story, also in the book. So I kind of snuck that in there. Subtle, that's right, thank you. Subtle. I broke my toe making the film. Yeah, Andre couldn't walk around too much because he had a really bad back, and in wrestling, I think they took it very seriously, but people would just bash the back of his head with real metal chairs, and for real, And so the poor guy was in a lot of pain. And we shot a lot of sequences up in the hills in Derbyshire, right? And so he couldn't walk up a hill like that. And so he wouldn't make it on time for the scene, So they got him an ATV, an all-terrain vehicle. I don't know how they found one in England. They weren't popular back then. But they found him, and he loved it. He was like, oh, boss, I have one of these at home. These are great, boss, great. He was moving around. He was having fun. He was going up and down hills. And, you know, see a 450-pound guy going up and down the hills. You take notice of that. You know? He comes zooming by you. Boss, hey, check it out. And one day he pulled up to me and goes, boss. I go, what? You want to try it, don't you? I go, what? He goes, you want to, boss. I go, Andre, I can't. You know, I don't know how to ride one. It's easy, boss. It's like a motorbike. Come on, you know, you want to. So the first day, I'm like, I politely declare, I'm like, Andre, that's fine. Okay, boss. Took off again. Zoom, right? Next day, same thing. Pull up. Hey, boss. Hi, Andre. You know you won. So like a twit, I went, oh, all right, fine. Yeah, come on, Bob, come on. He gets off this thing, you know, and immediately it suddenly comes up in the air. I sit on it, and his handler says to me, he's a British guy, he goes, oh, it's very easy, you know, it's a flat sheet of brake, it's just like my bike, Bob's your uncle. So I get on this thing, switch it on, I start to go up the hill, and the crew are watching it, bemused, they're like, what's he doing? And I tried to switch gears, and I went over a rock. The very moment I switched gears, and my toe got caught between the rock and the clutch, and it bent backwards, and it was a quick break. I just felt it break, I went like that, and I just felt it. Oh, great. We're 2 weeks into filming and I broke my toe. And we haven't even got to the sword fighting scene yet. And I'm nervous as heck because I'm thinking, that's it, they're gonna fire me for sure, right? I mean, here I am. It's like if you get an accident on a film set, if you get an accident while you're shooting, it's like workers' comp, like anywhere else when you work, right? And the insurance covers it, and they take a break from shooting, when they take a break from work, and the insurance covers it, and so on. But if you break it doing something stupid, like riding around on Andre the Giant's all-terrain vehicle, then you're just a dumbass. And nobody really cares about insurance at all, or anything like that. You're just a dumbass. And so I was terrified, and I kept saying, the set nurse came over, the set manager, she takes off my boot, and she goes, yes, my bike is clean bright kids. I go, why? You gotta fix it. I mean, I gotta go back to work. She goes, you can't really fix it. Can't put a cast on it or nothing. I go, what do you do? I go back to work. What can we do? She goes, I could probably make a little splint. I said, do it. So she pulls out, I don't know, some cardio breath. It was so painful. So I get in the van, we ride up to the hill where I'm shooting a scene with Robin. I think it's a scene where I'm running down into the fire swamp, and I say to her, your big fiancé is too late, we've already made it, right? And if you look at the scene, you can see me hopping, just hopping. And Rob comes up to me and goes, how you doing? I go, fine, why, how are you? He goes, I'm fine. You sure you're okay? I'm like, easy kid. Perfect. He goes, when were you going to tell me? And I went, oh man, I am so sorry, bro. I feel like such a twit. He goes, don't worry about it, man. We'll be fine. Can you walk? I go, well, yeah, I can walk. He goes, can you run? I go, yeah. I lied to him. I'm like, yeah, sure. He goes, what about the sword fight? I go, we'll be fine. And God bless it, you know, I went straight to the doctor at the hospital after we shot. And I was still in my Man in Black outfit because they wanted to rush me right there. And I remember the doctor looked at me and went, you're pretty clumsy for Zorro, aren't you? So that whole sword fight sequence, I wasn't just not left-handed, I was not operating with a fully functioning left toe. So we're kind of proud of it. So given that I was a little bit handicapped, thank you for mentioning how much you like that. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you.